A woman walks away from a man who begged her to stay. She forgets his voice, his texts, even the way he cried for her. But then there's another. Quiet, composed, distant. He never fought for her attention. He never tried to explain or win her back. And yet, she can't stop thinking about him. Why? Because silence isn't just absence, it's presence with purpose. It's not weakness. It's power disguised as stillness. It's not indifference. It's control masked as detachment. In a world where everyone is screaming to be heard, the man who says nothing becomes the one she can't unsee, the one she can't unfeel, the one who lingers long after the noise fades. This isn't manipulation. It's mastery. This isn't revenge. It's evolution. Welcome to the psychology of silence, the invisible force that rewrites narratives, reshapes emotions, and turns absence into obsession. When a woman leaves someone who begs, cries, or argues, she expects to feel powerful. That's how the ego works. It thrives on reaction. She wants the last word, the final blow, the emotional upper hand. She waits for the desperate call, the please talk to me, the flood of messages begging her to reconsider. But what happens? When none of that comes, no pleading, no breakdown, no chaos, just silence, that's when her ego starts to crack. She thought she was pulling the strings. She believed she had the power to make you fall apart. But when you don't react, when you go dark without explanation, something inside her shifts. Suddenly, she's not the one in control anymore. You've taken your energy back, and in doing so, you've stripped her of the validation she craved. Silence becomes a mirror. Not for you, but for her. In that quiet space, she sees herself more clearly than ever before. Without your attention to distract her, she's forced to confront the questions she avoided. Did I make a mistake? Was he really gone? Or did I push too far? Did I lose something real? Or was I just playing games? These thoughts spiral because silence doesn't just end conversations, it opens new ones within her mind. And those internal dialogues are far more dangerous than any argument you could have had. You didn't humiliate her. You didn't argue or justify. You simply walked away, leaving her alone with her own uncertainty. And that, more than anything, breaks her. Most men fall into a pattern. They're always available, always reacting, always trying to prove their worth. They text first. They apologize second. They chase third. Predictable. And predictability is the enemy of respect. Women aren't wired to crave constant comfort. They're wired to seek stimulation, mystery, and challenge. When a man becomes a known variable, when she knows exactly how he'll respond, when he'll call, what he'll say, he loses his edge. He becomes background noise. But when you break that cycle with silence, everything changes. Suddenly, she doesn't know where she stands. The control she once held over you vanishes. You're no longer the man she expected. You're the one she wonders about. And curiosity breeds obsession. She starts checking your page more than you check hers. She asks mutual friends about you, not because she misses the old version of you, but because she can't figure out the new one. Predictability is emotional fast food, easy to consume, easy to forget. Mystery, on the other hand, is gourmet. It lingers, it tempts, it haunts. And when you choose silence over performance, you become unforgettable. Human minds are wired to solve puzzles. We hate unfinished stories, unanswered questions, and unresolved tension. That's why mystery is the most powerful form of attraction, and silence is its sharpest weapon. When a man who once overshared suddenly goes quiet, he becomes a question mark. Where is he? What is he thinking? Is he moving on? Is he better off without her? The brain can't rest until it fills those blanks. So she starts guessing. She replays memories. She analyzes every past interaction. She imagines scenarios, some cruel, some hopeful. In her mind, you're not just gone. You're evolving, becoming someone bigger, better, untouchable. And that version of you, the one she can't see but can't stop imagining, becomes more powerful than reality ever was. Because mystery creates space, and in that space she builds fantasy. She idealizes you. She romanticizes your silence. She convinces herself that maybe, just maybe, she let go of something rare. Not because you changed, but because she stopped seeing you. And now she can't look away. When you were close, she could manage you. She knew how to get a reaction. She understood your emotional patterns. She could manipulate your feelings like a well-rehearsed script. But when you create distance, emotional and physical, everything shifts. You pull back your energy. You stop explaining yourself. You stop showing up in the ways she took for granted. And that gap, that absence, begins to press down on her. Emotional distance isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's the quiet realization that you're no longer orbiting her world. You're not chasing. You're not seeking approval. You're not giving her closure. You're giving her nothing. And that nothing becomes everything. Her ego, which once fed off reassurance, now starves in silence. She pretends not to care. She posts like nothing has changed. But deep down, the pressure builds. She feels your absence like a weight she can't lift. Because emotional distance isn't about being unavailable, it's about reclaiming your power. And when someone used to holding your heartstrings suddenly realizes she's lost grip, panic sets in. Not fear of losing you, fear that she already did. Most men confuse love with attachment. They believe that needing someone proves their devotion. But true dominance isn't in clinging, it's in letting go. Detachment is the moment you stop placing your worth in how she responds. You stop caring if she likes your post, replies to your message, or checks your status. You become untouchable. Not because you're bitter, but because you're free. And that freedom terrifies her, because once a man detaches, he becomes dangerous, not in anger, but in peace. You don't block her. You don't lash out. You don't give her chaos. You simply exist beyond her reach. Your silence becomes louder than words. Your calm becomes stronger than confrontation. And she senses the shift. Not because you told her, but because she feels it. You're no longer emotionally reactive. You're psychologically unreadable. And that kind of dominance doesn't need explanation. It commands attention. Time doesn't just heal, it reconstructs. And when you stay silent, when you vanish with dignity, her memory starts rewriting the story. The bad moments fade. The good ones amplify. Suddenly, you're not the guy she left behind, you're the one she regrets walking away from. Closure isn't given. It's created in silence. Because when there's no fight, no explanation, no drama, there's nothing for her to hold on to except the blank canvas of your absence. And the human mind hates emptiness, so she paints meaning, romance, fantasy. She remembers the way you looked at her, the energy you carried, the confidence you exuded. And over time, the man she once dismissed becomes the one she can't stop comparing others to. Because silence doesn't erase history, it reshapes it. And what stays in her mind won't be your last conversation, it'll be the version of you she built in her imagination, the one she never truly understood until you were gone. Stillness isn't weakness, it's warning. It says, I'm not where I was, and you don't get to see where I'm going. When you stop explaining, stop defending, stop trying to be understood, something shifts in your energy. You step outside the emotional arena. You focus on sharpening your edge in silence, in solitude, in strength. She doesn't see your late nights grinding. She doesn't witness your workouts. She doesn't hear your thoughts. But she feels the change. And that feeling, that uncertainty, is what makes her spiral. Because women know when a man is still but not stuck. He's building something serious, something dangerous. She expected chaos. What she got was calm. And that calmness signals strength. You're not waiting. You're transforming. And when the time comes to step back into the spotlight, you won't have to announce it. Your presence will say everything. Because stillness isn't retreat. It's power being refined. Eventually the silence gets too loud. She tests you. A random like. A vague story post. A message that says, hope you're doing okay. She's not coming back out of love. She's fishing for control. And your reaction? That's the prize. Most men take the bait. They jump. in, eager to reconnect, desperate to prove they still care. But not you. You know what the test is. You've seen it before. She's not returning out of affection. She's checking if she still owns real estate in your head. And your response? Nothing. No like. No comment. No flicker of emotion. Because silence, once again, is your sword. When she tests and gets nothing, that's when the fear sets in. Because now she realizes you're really gone. You've upgraded from being emotionally reactive to being psychologically unreadable. And nothing is more threatening than a man. She can't move anymore. Every test you ignore sends a message. You don't control this anymore. I do. That's real power. Because the strongest move isn't fighting back. Eventually she comes back. Maybe weeks, maybe months, but it happens. A comment, a message, a photo sent just because. She frames it as harmless, like she just wanted to see how you're doing. But deep down, she's hoping the old version of you still exists, the one who would light up at her name, drop everything for her attention. But this time, you're not the same. The man she left was emotionally available, wide open, easy to reach. Now you're colder, sharper, focused. You're not angry. You're indifferent. And that indifference is louder than any revenge could ever be. She notices it in your tone, in your eyes, in how you no longer react the way you used to. There's no urgency, no spark, no wall to break through. Because what she's running into isn't resentment. It's evolution. She's not coming back to the same man. She's standing in front of a stranger with boundaries. And here's the painful truth. Whatever she missed, whatever she wanted to reclaim, it's no longer on the table. You've moved on. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You didn't wait. You grew. And she's not returning to something familiar. She's stepping into something unreachable. Words fade. Memories blur. But silence? Silence leaves a scar. Long after, arguments are forgotten. Long after she forgets what you said or did, she'll remember one thing clearly. You said nothing. When she expected chaos, you gave her calm. When she thought you'd beg, you vanished. That silence lives in her head rent-free. Not because it was loud, but because it was final. There's no closure in silence, no validation, no comfort. Just space. Space she can't fill. Space that echoes. Every time she thinks of you, it's not your last words that haunt her. It's the fact that you walked away with your dignity and never turned back. That's what sticks. That's what keeps her checking your page at 2 a.m., asking mutuals about you, wondering if she made the biggest mistake of her life. Because silence doesn't just end conversations, it leaves questions. And humans hate unanswered questions. Why didn't he chase me? Did I mean anything? What is he doing now? You've become a ghost with gravity. Not loud, not bitter, just gone. And that kind of presence, even in absence, is unforgettable. She may date other people, laugh with someone else, pretend it doesn't matter. But deep down, she knows. She'll never meet another version of you. She'll never unsee the man who walked away on his own terms and never looked back. You didn't need to scream. You didn't need to beg. You didn't need to prove your worth to anyone who couldn't see it. All you did was go silent. You pulled back your energy. You took your power with you. And in that absence, she felt everything. The strength, the control, the man she never truly understood. Until he was gone. This isn't about bitterness. It's not about games. It's about becoming a man who knows his value so well. He no longer needs to speak it. You didn't disappear to make her miss you. You disappeared to find yourself, and in doing that, you became the one she'll never stop thinking about. Let them wonder. Let them remember. But don't look back.